Welcome to our current exhibition, From Chair to Cannon. Let's have a bit of a walk around and show you some of the items that are in it. Well, we'll start with the piece which is in front of us first of all. This is a cavalry chest with a pull-out secretariat drawer, but it's a little bit unusual to most cavalry chests in that it's got this mirror to the back of the writing surface. So that folds down like that, and then you've got your writing surface. But also it's got removable candlesticks which fit onto it. And as a further thing, it's also got an interesting stamp, H. Moore and Stevenson. They probably weren't the makers, but the retailers. They were second-hand and antique dealers at the turn of 1900. And so they probably bought this off a retired army officer to sell and put their stamp on it. Well, if we walk around, we can see that we've got a naval chair, an oak one, a little bit unusual in its action in that normally with a naval chair the seat will fold up against the back. This one doesn't, it drops down against the legs. An Anglo-Indian box, brass bound box, but I don't think I've ever seen a box which has got so many secret drawers and compartments, and perhaps we'll do a separate video on that, just showing them all, because it's quite fascinating. A Gillows table made to be demountable. We've had a number of campaign pieces of furniture over the years which we believed to be by Gillows, but none of them was stamped. This one is stamped, and the number to it can date it to 1873, so we were very pleased to find that. There are 8 chests in this exhibition. We've seen one, this is another one, also with a secretariat drawer, but a short drawer. And this chest, we feel, is probably Irish in make. And there's a separate video that we've already done explaining exactly why we think that there's a good chance this was made in Ireland, probably Dublin. We've got a number of items that are associated with rail travel. We've got 2 rail companions here. These are glass decanters with a little stirrup cup, which is also the stopper for the decanter. This one by Seabrook has got a sandwich tin as well. This one by S. Morden and Co. is just the decanter. And there you can see the top of a lid for the Seagrove one saying Railway Companion. Also some telescopic cups, but I've never seen a case set of telescopic cups that was made to take 2 cups. So that section fits on there and a cup goes on there. So that's quite a nice item as well. A good flask with cup by Drew of Piccadilly, exceptional makers, and that's silver. An unusual kit bag lock. We've had many kit bag locks over the years, but never one like this, which has got a button you to press to open it, which releases the handle. The Traveller's Sandwich Box by Holinshed, patented by Holinshed. And as you can see, it's made to completely flat pack once you've eaten the contents. A guard's horn from the London and South West Railway, and it still works. A little travel pepper pot with its leather case. Another one of the 8 campaign chests, and this one is what we would call a standard chest, but it stands out a little for having the maker's decal, York House, also known as a Junior Army and Navy store. There are a number of boxes in the exhibition as well. Here's a Wick War Dispatch box, which was owned by Mr. Mark Collinson. An Allen Patent Dispatch and portable desk in red Russian leather. Another chest, this one unusual again, not made to separate or to come apart, but you might not be able to see, but this side in depth is 4 inches greater than this side, and it was specifically made to fit in a certain place on board ship, which was likely to be the Jupiter. The handles are also interesting as well, and they were made by a Newcastle maker called Ramsey. Now this is one of my favourite pieces in the exhibition. It's a Georgian cupboard, round about 1770, carrying handles to the side, but definitely made for travel rather than being a domestic piece, because you've got this unusual lock put to what you would think is a weak point to the top of the drawer rather than the side. But that's because it also has bolts which fit from underneath in brass lined holes up into the bottom of the drawer, just to make it really secure for travel. Interesting bit of early campaign furniture when they were still trying to work out the best way to do things. A little patent model of a folding table. An Anglo-Indian Paduke desk. And on top of it, we've got a number of interesting items. You've got a gilt silver desk set for travel by the London silversmith Francis Douglas, and that belonged to the Redesdale family. A prismatic compass by Husbands of Bristol. A pocket-cased barometer, and to the other side of the case you've got a compass and a thermometer. A cigarette case with silver edging. 2 calling card cases, this one Austrian with a Persian tool design to the leather. This one a lovely green leather on metal with a nice gilt interior to it. A very tactile object, you just want to pick it up. An unusual, interesting campaign wardrobe. Works in much the same way as a Channel Islands wardrobe, in that it all separates just into boards. The 2 doors come off the hinges, the sides separate, the backboard separate, the top and the base separate, just like a Channel Islands wardrobe, but much shorter in size, a little bit more unusual for that, and quite an interesting piece. Another red dispatch box, and a good early 19th century box by the London luggage maker, trunk maker, William Eyre, and lovely orange marbled paper to the interior. There's quite a few different items of travel lighting in this catalogue. We've got a gimbaled ship's lamp on a bracket, so you would fix this to the side, and then no matter how rough the weather is, the candlestick will always stay upright. You can also remove it from the gimbaled arm, and it's got a weighted base, so you can use it separately. A New Edinburgh lamp, and these were made for use on board train. So you have a suction cap to the back, and you'd fix that to the window. You've got a spring in the column to always keep the candle up, and you've got a shade to reflect the light. an early 20th century travel lamp, sometimes known as a doctor's lamp. You've got hooks to the back so you can hang it on the curtain in a coach, and you've also got a carrying handle. But the column is removable, and that's got a candle in it, and in the case you've got two spares, so you can quickly slot those in and you're not going to be in the dark for long. And that's an early 20th century version of a design from the 19th century. Two pairs of silver Brighton bun candlesticks. One Austrian pair from the late 19th century, and of course, as you probably know, with Brighton bun candlesticks, the dishes form the packing case once you unscrew the sconces. This is a pair by Dominic and Half, the New York silversmiths, and the quality of them really is something else. They've got a rococo design, and the interior of the dishes have got a lovely gilt wash to them, stamped with the maker's logo in sterling. Now, this piece of furniture is the largest item in the exhibition. It's a campaign chest to form a sideboard. So basically, you've got a figured walnut campaign chest to the middle, and it's two packing cases bolt onto the sides to extend it into quite a large, good sized piece of furniture. You have the cresting rail then to add to it. You've also got a secretaire drawer, and when you're ready to pack up and move camp, you open up your cupboard doors, you put one half of the chest into each cupboard, standing upright. The knob handle of the cupboard doors unscrew, and originally then it would have had a board which would bolt to the front just to protect the figured walnut doors of the cupboards. That's the largest item in the exhibition. This is the smallest, and we've got a tiny little coffin, Napoleon's coffin, and it's got a hanging ring so you can wear it as a pennant, and when you release the lid of a coffin, are you ready? Napoleon pops up in his uniform, standing proud, and when you're ready for him to go back to sleep, you can just close it up there. It's a wonderful little item. There are a number of sailor associated items in the exhibition as well. We've got some fids, we've got an ebony sailor's seam rubber, we've got a gauge from a rope factory to measure the thickness of the rope. A Sunderland lustreware bowl, the sailor's farewell and the sailor's return. A gilt brass belt buckle with a ship motif. And a wonderfully carved coconut dipping cup, carved with grapes and vine leaves, but the detail of carving really is very good indeed. So a number of sailors' items. This piece of furniture would also have been used on board ship. It probably would have belonged to the captain, and he likely would have used it as both a chart table. The other leaf on the other side also folds out, so you get quite a reasonable sized table, but also you could use it as a dining table. It's got a cupboard on either end for storage, and also at this end you've got a pull-out drawer which opens out to be a writing slope or work surface, and to the other end you've got a drawer which is your desk tidy area to take your inkwells and your pens, etc. Probably the earliest, well it is the earliest item in the exhibition at 1740. And sat on top of it is a very nice Coromandel writing slope by David Edwards, that fantastic maker who's much sought after. That's a lovely quality slope. Very good looking as well, this striking timber edged in brass. Chairs. The exhibition is, after all, entitled From Chair to the Cannon. This chair completely breaks down for travel, but also it's a reclining armchair. So when you sit in it and you decide that you want more of an incline on the back, you just lift these triggers under the arms, push back, and it will recline for you. Now this is a super little table, and it's actually in Nick Brower's book, British Campaign Furniture, Elegance Under Canvas. And as you can see, it'll fold in half and the legs are removable. The legs, to me, they look very reminiscent of Catherine Street legs, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if this table was made by one of the Catherine Street makers. But also it's very low, so whether it was actually meant for use as an extremely low table to go by the side of a chair, or perhaps it was a salesman's sample, I'm not 100% sure. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was a salesman's sample though. We've got a number of telescopes and long john binoculars in the exhibition. This one is by William Toos, and he was an optician in Sydney, and it's got its super tripod with it, which all is demountable, and also if you unscrew the section up here, you've got a threaded section so you can fix it to a tree or a fence if you want, and that comes with a walnut box as well, and the optics on that are fantastic. In fact, that's one of two items we've got in the exhibition which are associated with Australia. We've also got a campaign chest by Jones of Parramatta. Another telescope, in its case, a Davon patent telescope made by Davidson and retailed by Dolland, and that's got its tripod as well. There's a screw fitting to again fix it to a tree or a fence when you're out and about. We've got a couple of good pairs of long john binoculars. One inscribed for a soldier who was in the Royal Engineers. Another armchair, again it's made to be adjustable on the incline, and you do that with the holes to the leather arm straps which fix onto these hooks on the arms. And this is working to the Wyburn patent, and it's made to all fold up and hinged for the legs to collapse as well. A camphorwood Davenport. I mean, Davenports are so useful today. They're such a great size as a desk that you can fit into most places, and you can put your laptop on to work. It slides forward, typically like most Davenports, so it'll fit over your knees, and you've got a cupboard to one side with drawers for storage. So a very useful piece of furniture for modern living. And let's finish on this table, which really is one of the highlights of the exhibition as well. Is another bit of Dublin campaign furniture, but the makers, Gillingtons, have got a very good reputation. You can see their mark there and serial number for the item. They were known really for making their domestic furniture, but like a lot of makers, when asked, they would adapt a piece to make it suitable for travel. And if I turn this upside down, you can see that the legs are removable, and then at the top of the column you've got a brass collar there, and that column unscrews as well, so it packs down quite comprehensively. So I hope you've enjoyed that taster to the exhibition. We haven't shown you everything. We've got to keep a few things as a surprise, but if you look on our website you'll see everything there. A number of items have got their own individual videos as well, and during the time of the exhibition there'll also be the catalogue, a PDF of a catalogue available online. I hope you've enjoyed it.